can I then change myself to change the perception I'm having of the people around me, and specifically the ones I'm having quote-unquote negative experiences with?
All right. First of all, you start by not labeling anything in your reality as negative, because if you do, all you're doing is agreeing with them and perpetuating that idea for yourself, are you not?
Yes.
Well, then if someone does something that you perceive as happening in your reality or is directed at you, knowing what we just said in that you are creating your version of them, you must be somewhere within your own consciousness in agreement with that idea in order to perceive it that way. Now, we understand you have the ability to observe in a neutral sense, in an objective sense, so to speak, that someone can be being negative even if you're not. But the point is you don't take it to heart if you know it has nothing to do with you. The only reason you would feel affected by it is if you agree that it does. You see?
Okay, well, I want to take it once.
Oh, one moment. Not done yet.
Okay.
Want to illustrate a little point, if that's all right?
Absolutely.
Thank you. What is your favorite color?
Blue.
All right. Now, if you were wearing something blue and someone came up to you and said, I hate red, and I hate what you're wearing, you go, what? That makes no sense. Oh, it must have nothing to do with me. Oh, you must be crazy. You must be talking about someone else. You wouldn't be affected by it because it wouldn't make sense to you. You understand?
Yes.
You would have no real emotional reaction to it. The idea, therefore, is that when you feel the emotional reaction of someone's supposed attack, what you're doing is getting them, your version of them, to reflect to you that some portion of yourself feels that way about yourself. Otherwise, you wouldn't react. You would just observe it. Oh, interesting. And move on with your day. But if you react to it, it's showing you, hey, some part of you actually is buying into this as true. So what do you want to do about it? So you say, well, thank you. Thank you for showing that I was not loving all of myself. And when you really start doing that, then you may start to see that someone else's attitude toward you may change, because what you've done is you've changed your version of them in your reality to be more reflective of the fact that you're now loving yourself more wholly. Make sense? The real being may still be going off and insulting everybody, but the only version of them you'll get is the version you've created that is now reflective of the love you're willing to give to yourself, that you weren't willing to give to yourself before. Is this starting to make sense? Do you see what kind of a shadow play this is?
Yes, it's very subtle, especially if you're in the room with somebody.
Yes.
And you're not...
Especially if you imagine you're in the room with somebody.
Remember,
it's not real. It's not real. It's your reality experience. It's not empirically real. It's just a symbol of the reality you are creating yourself to be, of your experience of yourself. So just because it looks like someone else is in the room with you, they're not. They're in their own room, maybe with their version of you. So the question is, what do you prefer to be going on in your room? Because you're the only one in it. Regardless of what it looks like, you're the only one in it. Are you familiar with what you call a fictional drama on your planet called Star Trek?
Yes.
Are you familiar with the device that they call the holodeck?
Yes.
Are you understanding that all of the other people are just holograms?
I understand that intellectually.
I just love that line. It is, no offense, no judgment, it's the ultimate cop-out. I understand it intellectually is actually another way of saying I'm not sure I want to get too close to really knowing what you're saying here. It's pushing the idea away. Because you actually do know exactly what I'm saying. Deep in your heart, deep in your soul. It's just that you've been taught to be afraid to look at it. too closely.
Afraid to look at the concept or the actual experience of holograms?
Because you see, this is what you're dealing with. This is what most of you deal with when you're in this kind of situation. You're afraid to look too closely at dealing with this because what you've been taught to fear is that what you think these other people are saying about you might actually be true. And oh no, how horrible would that be? You follow me? If you look too deeply, you're afraid it might actually be true. And then where will you be? But I'm telling you, it never will be true. Only what you decide is true for you is true. Is this making some sense?
Yes.
Intellectually?
I appreciate the reminder.
Oh, all right. Now, where do you want to go with this from here?
I want to go from here because in preparation for coming to this event, I had communicated to you telepathically and asked you to help me discover my blocks from living my fullest potential.
And what am I doing?
Well, no, last night you came to me in my dreams.
Yes.
And I wanted to know what we were doing.
This?
We were doing this.
More of this?
More of this work.
Yes.
Okay, so can you specifically illuminate for me my soul's agreement and purpose in life?
Obviously, this is one of the things you have decided to learn. Your self-worth. In the face of opposing opinions. Are you going to believe in the truth that is you, or are you going to believe in someone else's truth that has nothing to do with you? Which do you prefer?
I believe in my truth.
All right. Then you can continue to choose to do so. And anytime you find yourself feeling fearful about what someone else is saying about you or reacting to someone else's communication at you, understand that's another opportunity to feel your self-worth and believe in yourself, and understand that many times when someone comes up to you and says something that seems like an attack on you, what they're actually telling you is they have the same fear. And they're just projecting it on you to give you an opportunity to decide whether it's true for you. And what you can then do is be big enough to hold a space to allow them to find out whether it really needs to continue to be true for them, by loving them back for showing you an opportunity to love yourself more. You see?
Yes, thank you very much.
Is this helping?
Oh, absolutely. Thank
All right.
you. Thank you.
We'll talk some more.
Thank you. See you in my dreams.
Yes, that's what I meant.